A Scandinavian woman, spending a week in an American home, starts collecting observations before the first morning is even over. The bathroom counter holds 14 products for one face, lined up in a row, like a small pharmacy nobody asked her opinion on. Her friend's alarm goes off 45 minutes early, so a full face of makeup can be applied before a routine trip to the grocery store, a store 2 minutes down the road. The teeth across the breakfast table are a shade of white that does not occur anywhere in nature, gleaming under the kitchen lights in a way that briefly distracts from the conversation. And the calendar taped to the fridge shows a spray tan appointment penciled in for the following week, in November, with snow already on the ground outside. None of it is said out loud as criticism, it's just noticed, quietly, the way a guest in someone else's country notices everything at first, before it starts to blend into the background. What follows is 8 American beauty habits that genuinely stop a Scandinavian woman in her tracks, and what each one reveals about the two cultures when you actually look at it from the other side. Before we go on, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We love seeing how far this story travels. And if you're loving it so far, join the family by hitting subscribe, because tomorrow we've got something special lined up just for you. Now, the first habit. The one that shapes every morning around itself, wearing a full face of makeup every single day. Foundation, concealer, contour, brows, mascara, all applied before work, before errands, before a Tuesday containing nothing but a dentist appointment. The Scandinavian daily default is bare skin or close to it, a tinted moisturizer, maybe mascara, and full makeup held in reserve for occasions that earn it. From an American perspective, a made-up face is basic professionalism, the grooming equivalent of an ironed shirt. From a Scandinavian perspective, a complete smoky eye at 8 in the morning signals either a wedding or an evening that has not yet ended. Part of the difference is practical, because a face built in 45 minutes does not survive a cycling commute through horizontal rain, and Scandinavian mornings regularly include one. The deeper layer is the janteloven instinct, covered in its own video on this channel. Visible effort draws attention, and drawing attention to yourself is the one thing the culture asks you not to do. The American face announces its preparation. The Scandinavian face is engineered to look like it required none. Moving to the second habit, which takes place between the shower and the mirror, washing and heat styling hair every single day. Daily shampoo, daily blow-dry, then a flat iron or curling wand to construct the day's architecture, which will be demolished tonight and rebuilt tomorrow morning. Most Nordic women wash their hair once or twice a week and let it dry on its own, with braid days and ponytail days bridging the gap. The logic is partly biological. The scalp produces its own conditioning oil, and daily shampooing strips it out just fast enough to make daily shampooing feel necessary, a loop the weekly schedule never enters. The logic is also meteorological. Hair that gets washed, stripped, and blasted with heat every morning meets a -15-degree wind in Helsinki in a fragile state, and the wind wins that encounter every time. The Nordic wash schedule is simply what hair care looks like in a place where the weather holds veto power. For the third habit, we arrive at the feature Scandinavians mention most often after a first trip to the United States. Teeth whitened far past their natural color. Whitening strips, bleaching trays, in-office treatments, and at the top of the ladder, veneers. All in pursuit of a white that enamel does not produce on its own. American Dental Association guidance lists tooth sensitivity as the most common side effect of bleaching, which says something about how far past baseline the standard now sits. Scandinavian dental care is free through childhood and aimed almost entirely at health, so the region is full of straight, well-kept, faintly ivory teeth that nobody has ever bleached. A Scandinavian reads the American smile the way you might read a freshly painted house. Impressive, clearly maintained, and impossible to mistake for the original surface. In a dim Copenhagen restaurant, a full set of Hollywood veneers provides its own lighting. The fourth habit is the one that comes with its own medical literature, maintaining a tan all year round. Spray tan appointments, tanning beds, bronzing drops, A July skin tone carried straight through a February in Minnesota. Skin Cancer Foundation data links indoor tanning before the age of 35 to a melanoma risk increase of more than 50%, which makes the tanning bed one of the few beauty tools with mortality statistics attached. The confusing part, from the Nordic side, is that nobody on this planet loves the sun more than a Scandinavian does. On the first warm day of spring, entire parks in Oslo fill with people sitting completely still, faces tilted upward like satellite dishes. But the color that results is seasonal. It arrives in July and gets surrendered in October without complaint. Manufacturing it in a strip mall in the middle of winter reads, to a Scandinavian, as an argument with the calendar itself. Preparing and narrating this story took us a lot of time, so if you are enjoying it, subscribe to our channel. It means a lot to us. Now back to the story. For the fifth habit, we arrive at the needle. Preventative Botox in your 20s. American Society of Plastic Surgeons data tracks millions of injectable procedures every year, with demand rising fastest among the youngest patients, a trend the industry itself has branded prejuvenation. In practice, it means a 24-year-old freezing a wrinkle that has not yet formed, as a precaution. Injectables exist in Scandinavia too, and plenty of appointments happen in Stockholm and Copenhagen. Two things produce the shock. The first is the timeline, treating a face in its 20s as a problem already in progress. The second is the openness, the casual way the phrase "my injector" enters brunch conversation, in the same unguarded register Americans use for money. The aging video on this channel covered the Nordic alternative in detail. Sleep, daylight, and decades of ordinary daily movement do the slow structural work. And whatever cosmetic assistance happens on top of that is handled the Nordic way, which means it is never mentioned again. The sixth habit lives on a bathroom shelf, the 10-step skincare routine, layered nightly. A cleanser, a second cleanser, a toner, an essence, a vitamin C serum, a retinol, an acid, an eye cream, a moisturizer, and a facial oil, several of which are working directly against each other. The American Academy of Dermatology has warned for years that overexfoliation damages the skin barrier, and the barrier is the exact thing a Nordic winter tests first. The standard Scandinavian routine holds at 3 or 4 products: a gentle cleanser, a moisturizer, sunscreen in the bright months, one active ingredient if the skin has earned it. The restraint comes from experience. A few Februaries of -10 wind will locate every overexfoliated cell on your face and file a formal complaint. Skin in that climate is a wall between you and the weather, and you do not sand down a wall you are actively standing behind. The seventh habit is about hands, long acrylic or gel nails as standing monthly infrastructure, with fills, soaks, repairs, and seasonal art. To an American, a fresh set is grooming. To a Scandinavian, it is a beautiful object that makes hands harder to use. Nordic nails are short, clean, and bare, or painted one quiet color that is allowed to chip in peace. The reason is what hands are expected to do. A normal Norwegian weekend can involve a cabin, firewood, and cold seawater, and a set of almond-shaped acrylics survives that itinerary for roughly 40 minutes. There is also an acoustic dimension that Scandinavians notice in American offices before they can name it. A full set of long nails turns every keyboard into a percussion instrument, and Scandinavia treats unnecessary noise as a form of littering. And for the eighth and final habit, the one that in some ways contains all the others, full glam at the gym. Makeup applied at 6 in the morning so it can be sweated through by 7. Hair styled for an activity designed to ruin it. A coordinated outfit for a room full of strangers on treadmills. The Scandinavian gym runs on the opposite premise, and the sauna enforces it. In Finland especially, a workout ends in a wooden room at 80 degrees Celsius, where no cosmetic product on earth stays in place, which means everyone in that culture regularly sees everyone else's actual face, and a beauty standard built on coverage cannot survive a country whose favorite room removes the coverage by design. The contrast underneath is simple. American beauty culture displays its effort. Scandinavian beauty culture hides its effort so thoroughly that the effort itself became the secret. Both are performances. Only one of them is allowed to look like one. 8 habits, and the same honest observation connecting all of them. None of these American habits are irrational inside the system that produces them. The daily full face makes sense in a culture where grooming is read as competence, and half the workforce is judged on presentation. Blinding teeth makes sense where the smile does the work of a first impression in a country that runs on first impressions. The year-round tan holds its logic in a place where tanned skin signals health, leisure, and vacation days. Every habit on this list is a reasonable adaptation to an environment where beauty operates as a language, and everyone gets graded in it whether or not they signed up for the class. What the Scandinavian contrast offers is evidence of a different default, a version of daily femininity with far lower overhead, and it comes with its own fine print. Try showing up visibly overdressed in Stockholm and feel the room register it. The pressure to do less can police a face as firmly as the pressure to do more. The measurable difference is the hours. That's our story. If you enjoyed it, hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell. And tomorrow, more stories are waiting for you. Thanks for watching.